I mean, I listen, I know it's just, I mean, the reason nothing happened between Vanessa and myself is really just because Vanessa and myself have so much love and respect for my wife.
Of
You know,
course. Of course.
I just didn't want to do that to her. And frankly, to Vanessa's credit, neither did she. It's not something we ever talked about, but like you can see that kind of thing in a person's eyes, you know?
See, that's nice of her. She's a respectful,
Yeah.
right?
No, she's wonderful. She's wonderful. I mean, aside from being so beautiful and talented and lovely in every way, you know, she also respects boundaries.
Listen, I always knew that Vanessa Williams was a class act.
Yes, yes.
Did you learn anything like from Vanessa? I mean, America, I know you had most of your scenes with America. Like, did you learn anything from them or just on that show in general?
Oh boy, you know, I was I mean, it was interesting. Yeah, I don't know how to you talk about it, but like Vanessa's a great example, and I've had actually a lot of examples like this. It's in fact of you get like you work with these people who are really icons, right? Like Vanessa Williams, like Henry Winkler, Stockard Channing, like people I've worked with who are icons. Um, and and the thing that I always, and I'm just kind of checking my brain right now, but I think this is always true, is at least in my experience, is they are always amongst the hardest working people on the set. Like, it's not just that they're incredibly talented, like they just have talent. It is also that they work really hard and they really care, and they want everybody to be great. And they're also great to work with. So that has been, you know, it's just a great example as I've, you know, worked now 20 years in the business of just constantly being reminded that, yeah, all the best people that I've worked with, no matter how long they've been doing it, are still busting their ass, and they still care. And that's why they're still there and relevant.
That makes sense. And almost like cognizant of the fact, like I'm sure like a Vanessa Williams on Ugly Betty is cognizant of the fact that, you know, everyone's in the room, we all have the job, but that there are people maybe quietly in the corner looking up to her.
Yeah.
Just for her iconic status, like you said.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And the other cool thing about Betty is like really watching America come into her own. You know, she was very young, you know, I mean, she used to like joke about how old I was because I was 10 years older than her, you know, so it was like, she was like, you're 32. This is disgusting. You're an old man.
Right.
And we would laugh. But she was getting so much success so quickly, really, with Betty. But you know, like Vanessa, like it never went to her head in a way that she then thought, well, now I can just relax now. Like she was always, like every scene trying to make it better, trying to make it as good as it could be. Which, you know, I had a lot of respect for her. And you know, and it served her well because now, you know, she's like just continued to grow, as an artist and as a person. Yeah.
And to be in the show, like, you know, like again, like, you know, I go back to Manuel, like you talk about like diversity and inclusion, like that's, you know, it's a thing now. Like look at like Ryan and like Shonda Rhimes and everything else. But I think Ugly Betty was way ahead of its time in that sense too.
For sure. Yeah. Well, and behind the camera, I mean, you know, Silvio Orta, and you know, is as a showrunner, you know, he was, you know, and I mean, rest in peace, because he was the only, at the time, Latino showrunner in Hollywood. Like he was it. And the pressure on that guy was enormous. Sorry, Sylvia and I had the same birthday, you know, so like this is going to be, so we used to like reach out and talk to each other every year. just on our birthdays. It's nothing else. And so it's now that he's gone, it makes me sad. But the great thing is, it's like he really did like help pave the way for inclusion behind the camera, which is as important, as what's happening in front of the camera.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Do you keep in touch with like America and other people? I mean, obviously.
Yeah, America and Ryan are still close friends. I see from Betty, like Ana Ortiz occasionally. Vanessa keeps a respectful distance from me and my family, which I appreciate.
She doesn't want to. She's just like, she
doesn't.
She's trying.
Well,
I'm telling you, it's your wife. She's just trying to.
She does.
She can't control herself. I mean, obviously.
She does. I mean, she invited us to her wedding, which, she got married a few years ago now in Buffalo, and it was beautiful. So I think that was the last time that we saw like a big group of the Betty folks together, was at Vanessa's wedding. And then not much of the cast, but some of the writers at Silvio's memorial. But we still see America all the time when they're in town. Yeah. For us all the time. We have kids, so we all see AB all the time, except our kids. But
that's true. You're in the kids mode. Has there ever been any talk of like, an Ugly Betty reboot?
There was. They did some kind of like reunion thing at I think it was South by Southwest or the ATX festival or something a few years ago. I was directing I was directing a movie at the time, so I couldn't make it. So, but there was talk about, but it's never happened. And I have no idea why. Yeah, I really don't know. So like every once in a while, I see like chatter about it online, but I never hear any serious chatter about it, and I have no idea. Excuse me, I have no idea why that is.
Well, once you send me these videos and I release them with this episode, now there's going to be a mini.
There we go. There we go.
It'll be like, what about, do you think that they could do it, and would you do it, without like Silvio? Like, could you now do it now that he's gone?
I mean, yes. Sorry, I've got this little dog is going crazy.
We've had many a dog on this show here behind the velvet rope.
Sorry. Here. My nails.
It wouldn't be the first.
So yeah, I mean, under the right circumstances, sure. But honestly, like if there was some kind of reboot or thing, I don't know that I would be in it. Like, other than, I don't know that Henry would be around still, just character wise. I don't know if it would make sense, but I would love to I would love to be a part of it if they did something, of course.
Well, just because Betty and Henry didn't end up together, right. I mean, we have a lot of years now. Maybe perhaps Henry's with Betty now.
Maybe at the time, like when Silvio told me that the baby was gonna be mine, right? But like that's when I knew things might not work out the way that I had hoped, because like nobody was going to want Betty to be the mom of somebody else's kid, right? Like the audience would not want that. Now, 15 years later or whatever, yeah, I mean, sure, who knows? But also like, I mean, she probably met someone in London, right?
There's a lot of scenarios, but you know what? I can tell you the audience would like Henry to be involved and to be with Betty, or at least in the damn reboot. So I'm thinking things might work out for you if there is a reboot. Listen,
all right.
Send a text to Vanessa. Maybe this will be a reason to talk to her. Send a text to America. And between the two of them, they got some pull. They could start this thing. They could start, I mean,
exactly right.
Superstore is over. Come on, America. Like let's get on it. Well, it was a great show. what about, you know, your work on Covert Affairs? Like you played, you know, a blind man. How do
Yeah.
you like prepare and